All right, this is a first for the Actors Audience. I am here with the entire cast of an off-Broadway show. The show is Daniel's Husband, playing at the West Side Theater. Why don't you all introduce yourself, tell me who you play, and the basic gist of your character, and all that good stuff.
Okay, I'll start. I'm Anna Holbrook, and I play Lydia. I am the mother of Ryan. Oh, excuse me, Daniel. and and I'm really glad he's gay.
That's good.
Spoiler.
Huge spoiler. Unless you didn't get it from the title.
Daniel's husband.
Gay theme.
Spoiler, Daniel's gay.
Hi, I'm Lou Liberatori. I play Barry. Barry is Mitchell's agent. Mitchell, played by Matthew Mapolano. And the play is about an agent.
Who's Daniel's husband, right? And Daniel's gay, so we got that out of the way.
I don't know, no spoilers.
Hello, I'm Ryan Spahn. I play Daniel, and I'm married to... No, I'm not.
Oh,
Wow. We've never read the play.
This is the cast's first time,
First time we read the play.
I want to be married to this guy.
and he doesn't want to, right?
Well, I don't know. You have to
Come see the play, and we'll tell you.
Yeah.
to come and see.
Yes. I am Matthew Montalongo. I play Mitchell, this one's partner of many years in the play.
I'm Leland Wheeler. I play Trip, and I am introduced as Barry's boyfriend at the top of the play.
You're gay in this?
It's kind of cute.
My name is Austin Reed Alleman, and I play Jacob, who is a nurse.
Also gay?
Yes!
Oh, yes. You gotta see that.
You gotta wait till Daniel's husband.
I
too.
hired him with that.
Really incredible scene at the end of the play.
So why don't you each tell me how you got involved in the project?
Do we do it in order? Go, someone, go. I came in late.
You
Oh, that's the
started,
best
right?
story. That's the best story.
Go ahead.
Well, if it's the best story.
No
Yeah.
pressure, Anna, no
I
pressure.
don't think it is.
Yes, and do it with a dialect.
They had,
Go.
well, yeah, well. God, you're gonna regret this. They had started rehearsals. I was not cast. And 10 days into rehearsal, I get a call from Joe Brancato that he does need me, and that they're switching out the Lydias, and they wanted me. And I said no, because I had made plans and I couldn't change them. And he said, no, you have to do this. And anyway, I said, but I can't be there for 5 days of your rehearsal period. And he called back and said, we'll make it work. And that's how that happened. And then these what?
But it was also 5 days, so you had like 3 days, 5 days off, and then
Right.
tech.
And then
Yeah.
Right? It was like, it was
really, which
Yeah.
might have been why it was very sort of Carol Burnett take on things when we first started. But these guys were extraordinary because I couldn't have done it without them, obviously, but they just couldn't have been more generous. I came in and Ryan read lines with me and pumped me, and I'm a little slow on getting the lines, and they were just wonderful. So that's how I came in.
And we're about to do our 106th?
Seven.
Yeah.
107th show tonight.
Yeah.
All
Marathon.
told.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just threw, Joe called me up and said, let's talk about something. So I met with him, and I had worked with Joe a couple of years earlier, 30. And up at the Penguin Rep, we did a play.
When you were
together.
8?
When I was 8. thank you.
Austin, how old were you 30 years ago?
Those two were not born yet,
These
right?
two were not born.
happening between.
Halfway through my career, they were not alive.
And mine.
And now one of them's playing your boyfriend, so.
Right, there you go. I like the youngins in this one. And so Joe called me in, have a chat about this character, and it sounded really quite wonderful, being the older man in the cast, which is a
Wiser.
first for me. I was usually one of these guys for many, many years, and then you get old. I'm just telling you guys. I'm just giving them a warning.
No.
Just remember that. And but anyway, it was a great time to sort of explore an older character, an older gay character with flaws and wishes and desires, but basically a confirmed bachelor.
Sorry, Leland.
His loss.
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved with Joe.
I got involved because Joe saw me in a show called Exit Strategy that I was doing at Primary Stages, which is where this play ended up after we did it at Penguin Rep, which is Joe's theater. So he asked me to get involved at Penguin and then to do it at Primary. We all got to do it again.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Were you all with the show at Cherry Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been,
Really. The 5 of us have been with the production since Penguin Rep.
Wow.
Yeah, I joined about a month and a half ago. And
You've been
That's-
the entirety of this production here.
Right.
How
Yeah,
many
the entire
performances
time.
have you done?
I don't know, like 50 or something?
has it been, have we done 50 here?
How?
Yeah, yeah,
started
at
we did about
45.
50-something,
Something like
the other
that.
two combined.
But before I joined, they'd known each other for like 2 years or whatever from doing this version twice at different theaters. But the role used to be played by a stage manager, but when rules and all kind of things like that means they had to get an actor to,
Union strong, baby.
yeah, exactly, they had to get an actor to play the role now, so.
So, but we got Austin until we can get an actor.
One day we'll get one.
One day we're hoping.
So,
So I guess I'm a newbie, but I also understudy Leland, so if he's ever sick, I got his
You've
back.
been working on that.
I was just gonna say, you've been coughing on him since I got here.
We also realized recently that we have been in an on-stage couple for half the amount of time that we've been a couple within the play.
Right.
yeah, that's
So
pretty
we're
wild.
hitting our halfway mark with the length of time we've been
Is that silver?
dating on stage. Yeah, where's
What is it?
where's
What-
my
I
parade?
think it's tin.
What's 3.5?
Please get me a gift.
I'll do the
We're
beaver
registered at Macy's. If you want to get us something.
It's onion skin.
Absolutely. We'll
Yeah.
put the registry link in the bio.
We have a living registry.
Just gift cards, please.
Yes.
I think maybe it sounds like I'm the only one who actually auditioned. And
Really? You have to
No,
audition?
I had to
did.
audition.
I
Oh, you had to. Okay.
I mean, he saw me in a play, but I did have to audition, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually auditioned for Daniel for the part that Ryan plays when we first went in, and I did not do well. So he had to come back and
Go
audition
home.
for Mitchell. So and then they made me an offer, and
Thought about it.
for like 2 seconds, and I said yes. I didn't have another job, so
And now he's been doing it for decades.
now I can't.
Never get out.
And I met Joe through a teacher I was studying with, and she introed me to Joe, and they were having some issues casting my part, and I was actually back in West Virginia producing a music festival, and so the day after that came down, I got an email from my agent asking to put the audition on tape, and I had zero voice because I was screaming the entire weekend. So I put an audition tape together the morning of driving back to New York. I had no voice, and you could hear the crickets in West Virginia louder than my voice. I edited it together on my phone as I was driving back to New York, sent it to Joe, and I met Joe the next day, and he offered me the part.
Oh, that's good.
You say you must have done
That tends
something
to be
right
your
then.
style.
Yeah.
You're always
Slide it
almost
in.
gone.
I know, I don't deserve it.
We're familiar with crickets. Nothing new sometimes.
I love
Yeah.
crickets.
Yeah, we've heard it.
It's such a welcoming animal.
Now, why don't you talk a little bit about each of your characters and their plot in the play without spoiling too much? And Anna, you kind of play against type, and she's a little bit much, a little bit mean.
Well, she could be a little bit much, but I think that she's very grounded and.
Comes from, like you said before, I think the other day, comes from love.
Yes, it does, it comes from love. And
Strong-willed?
it
Is that a good way to describe her?
It is she has, my character has her idiosyncrasies and her flaws for sure, but it's all based on love and wanting to do the right thing and wanting to get it right. And she adores her voice, she really does. And so, I don't know that I need to say anymore. I think she's just-
Perfectly recaps your
Yeah,
character.
and thank you.
Well, Barry, like I said earlier, is an agent and Mitchell's best friend. And that really encapsulates everything about Barry. I think he as you first see him, the first scene is a party scene. We're all kind of getting together. Three of us are are close, we're friendly, and the new one is why bring to the party Trip, my boy du jour. And,
Good old cricket voice over there, right?
Cricket boy, and hashtag cricket boy. And so you first, and Barry is an adult child, very much into just sort of living a sort of always fun life, wanting to fun life. But he's also, but underneath of that, he is a strong support for Mitchell. He's the person that Mitchell can lean on and be there. And Barry sort of grows up, I think, in this play a lot. And it's, again, interesting to play. You know, I played many gay characters in my career, and so it's interesting to play. It's interesting that there are so many types of gay people you can play. It's really quite interesting about that. And it's great to play an older character who has, you know, wants and desires and losses and all, and to see him sort of grow up in our time period of the play is sort of it's been exciting. It's a great challenge and a joy to do, actually. And then also working with these people has been really not only served the play, it's been challenging,
Nightmare.
absolutely, but it strengthens me. And I get through it. I cannot wait for curtain call, and I can get off the stage and stop holding their hands.
Oh, that is not true. You're missing that curtain speech so much.
That's true. And I was giving the Broadway Cares speech up until Sunday night, which was great to do. I will continue making some sort of speech afterward. They don't know this yet.
Could have guessed it.
Wonderful.
I play Daniel. I feel like I'm just a person who's worked really hard to get where I am in life, and have worked really hard to not become what I feel like my father had become, particularly because of his relationship with my mother, which I have a very difficult time wrapping my head around as a man in my 30s. And I think that I really want the foundation of marriage with this man that I've been with for almost 7 years now. And when we meet him in the play, I think it's something that he's really like stewing on at this point, and it's a really important thing for him.
Matthew?
I play Mitchell, and he's a fairly successful writer of gay romance novels. Lives a very comfortable life, very happy, very madly in love with Daniel, but also equally devoted to a kind of radical ideology when it comes to marriage and when it comes to, I think, politics in general, a kind of pushback. And that tension drives him in ways, I think in the play you see ways in which that erupts inappropriately sometimes, but also it's a big part of his identity. It's a big part of who he is, and maybe even one of the reasons why we're together. You know, there's an attraction there too from that, maybe, I don't know.
Between Ryan and Matt, or between
Between Ryan and Mitchell.
Wait, I'm confused. I'm confusing now.
Yeah, so that's Mitchell.
Can I watch?
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud?
You did.
He said it.
That's okay. Well, we'll mute it.
Why
Trip
start now?
Trip is introduced as, you know, the naive, innocent boy toy, but then quickly, as soon as the first question is asked of him, you kind of realize there's a lot more going on. He's a caretaker, and there's definitely some wisdom, but there's also some fierce curiosity in Trip as well. He kind of brings up the point of like, why aren't you two married in the first place? You seem to be perfect. And I came of age in which marriage was legalized when I was young, and now it's just like, of course you would be married. It just makes sense. It's very obvious. So I'm definitely the catalyst of like, why aren't you married? Tell the audience, tell me. So let's figure it out.
Last but not least.
And Jacob is a nurse and comes in very late in the play, and honestly, I don't think I can say anything else about my purpose without giving it away.
Okay.
So,
What's the most exciting thing about putting up a show 8 times a week, or the most exhausting?
I would say that one of the most exciting things has been that we've gotten to do it during 3 very drastically different political climates, and I think it is a thrill to just feel where an audience is night after night, particularly this time around, with the value of a story like this and where people are in their own personal lives, because it really isn't about, it's so much bigger than like a gay marriage debate. It is about
absolutely.
so many other things, and I think that that is coming into focus more this round, and that is, I think, something for me that's personally very exciting, is when you can feel the audience, it wash over them in a way that enlightens their own personal
And it
experience.
could
It has
be
nothing to do
through
with
any,
potentially what we're
it doesn't
doing.
have to be through a gay lens at all, do you think?
No, it shouldn't.
shouldn't.
It shouldn't be.
No, it's a
a
play,
story
it's a
about
play with gay
people.
characters, it's not a gay
That's
play.
exactly right, yeah.
You know, but it's also, what Brian was saying here, it's been relevant in each time period that we've done this play. First time before the election, second time
60s,
after.
70s,
It's called a classic.
90s.
We won't be playing 30-year-olds any longer. And then the third time we're doing it is after the Kavanaugh decision. And I feel that the audience comes in with that, as do we, as our characters. We're modern, we're today characters. And so we have that inside, whether we refer to it or not, it's in our DNA. So it does color, and it gives us a point of view about where we are today, about certain subjects that we raise. And so there's a relevancy to it that has gotten stronger over the years, because I think we've gotten louder, we've gotten more resistant in that respect. And so it feels like we're speaking today. I feel like the audience is here at this party with us, having this discussion, having this debate. And it just gets stronger each time.
I think one of the biggest compliments that I hear consistently is that people forget they're watching a play.
Right.
They feel like they are absolutely in this room, seeing what's going on with these people. And I think that 8 shows a week, if you're asking about that, is so exciting to do, because every single night is an exploration. Every single night. None of us can play it the same every single night.
Right.
We just work off of each other,
Right.
and it's a thrilling ride, I think.
And the audience is never the same, so it's like doing it
Absolutely.
like a completely new
Yeah,
show.
we
every
have,
time.
you know, one of the things you remember as an actor doing a show over an extended period of time is that whether you've done it 10 times or 100 times, this is the first time, pretty much, that this audience is seeing it. So that's a responsibility that you have as an actor, as a professional, as the underscore of our play now plays during this interview here. You can hear the music coming up. It just serves to
Swell.
But our responsibility is to give it, it's as if we're doing it the first time for the people out here, because it is their first time. That's always in my mind. You know, but also at the same time, we're new. Every day, you're different every day.
Right.
And so that if I'm a little tired today, or I'm a little more energetic today, that's going to come into the performance as well. So.
Is it so interesting for you to, because I last spring I did a play where I came in at the end of the play, and I found it so fascinating to feel where the audience was night after night, because there's such a crazy energy that you're walking into if you haven't been on stage with the cast. Does that change for you?
I think it changes because it depends on if I've watched the show or not that night. A lot of times I'll watch from the back just to see what Leland's doing and everything, just because I'm doing his understudy. But I just mean sometimes I'll be down there the entire show and then come on and then walk onto stage and there's this new energy. Yeah, I definitely feel that. But also, I feel more a part of this show whenever I watch it, half of it, and then come down and
That
come
makes
on.
sense. Yeah,
That's-
Because I feel like I get a feel of what the audience
That's
is.
I did a production.
Yeah.
I did a show. I did Orpheus Descending, and I was in one scene. I played David Couture, and the way we had, it was done in a church, but I sat in the back and just sort of listened to the play, and that was my preparation. Each show, you know, people ask you about what you do to prepare and everything. For that particular show, I prepared by just sitting and listening to the words of this wonderful play and the actors and everything, and then I entered, and that was my one scene, and I felt all that got me in the play, that got me in the moment. So I was as sort of an audience member, I was there, absorbing it all, and then coming on with what I needed to do. It really flavored and carried me, which was quite wonderful. The only time I've really ever done that. It's a great experience.
I
Yeah, it's
didn't
really
think of that.
interesting.
That's
Yeah.
like reading the book that gets you in the frame of mind.
It was such a fascinating thing to come in if you weren't watching it, and
Right.
night after night it was like people. It was like either hot, the audience was there, or other times you could feel that they had checked out, or what you thought was they checked out.
Right.
They never check out.
It's so interesting to be the person who comes in towards the end of something.
So, you asked earlier also about sort of the joy or the challenge or anything, and I've said this many times in an interview, but also privately to these people I'm surrounded by right now. I look forward to coming to work every day because of these people around
Every day.
me. They're fun and joyous and silly and challenging and smart and all the things you want in friends. These are the people you want to hang out with family, and so we hang out. We come here early, we warm up together, we hang out downstairs together and play music, have sort of a little party before we enter, and that really, I
I
think,
feel
is
that way about
special.
half.
Right.
Which,
And
beginning of the week,
so-
Right.
half of
The half of the road that he's in.
That side, not so much.
4 out of 6 of you are doing a great job.
Are you leaving out the boy toys of the play? Is that,
I'm including myself.
guys, thank you so much for taking time before your show to do this interview. I very much appreciate it. I had a great time.
I do want to say one thing.
Sure.
I want to thank Ted Snowden. Ted
Oh
Snowden's our
my God.
producer, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for him.
no,
I
it
know.
wouldn't.
He
Wow,
took us, he took this play after Joe Brancato showed it to him. He read it, immediately wanted to do it, and he's been with us since day one, knowing full well we were going to end up here, in his mind.
Amazing.
He's wanted this play to be Broadway, or as we say here, Broadway adjacent, since day one. And without his love and support, we would not be here today. So we really owe so much of it to him.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.